We've got the Venom HP mini ductor. Let's see if we can get this thing red hot. Let's get this thing off of here. Ouch. Oh. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Glad you could join me today. Today we have a Mini Cooper. I believe it's the 2009 model. Yes, it is. It has right at 100,000 miles, and it is leaking massive amounts of oil. It's also pepper white in color. But what we're going to do today, we're going to fix that oil leak. Now, if you've seen the short that I made, I said that I'm going to remove this whole front end. Well, I had a comment that said you don't have to do that. You can get down in there without removing this front end. Now, I'm going to try it without removing this front end because I want to see how hard it is to get it out of there. Now, I knew that probably wasn't going to be as easy, and I thought maybe there is a possibility that I could get this thing out of here without removing this front end. But I just thought it'd make it easier to slide everything forward and I'd have a lot more room. But I'm going to see how much time it takes me and how hard it is to just take everything out with this still up here. So stay tuned because this should be fairly interesting. Contact! Alright, so we've got it on the lift, and we're just going to start taking some things apart here. I don't know, this looks pretty tight. Gonna start taking these out. Got my cart off to the side. We're gonna put all our parts in a orderly fashion so we know where everything goes. Now, yeah, like I said, it's really not hard to move everything forward because you can put it in what they call a service position. That's going to take a ratcheting wrench, but you can put everything in a service position to where it will give you enough space to get into there without draining the antifreeze and all that. But if we don't have to do it, and it's not too bad, then I'm all for it. I can suffer through one job, I think. I just like space. To where you guys can see, I'm not sure if you can or not. As you can see, there's a substantial oil leak right there. It's dripping down across the exhaust. He said it stinks, which I don't doubt. So there's a bolt up there and a bolt above that. I don't know about all this. This may be possible, but It sure is a pain. Okay, let's see here. We're going to have to unplug both of those. While we're here, why don't we take that thing loose right there? It'd be a 16 metric meter. Oh yeah? Well, how about that? Get a little more force on this thing. Oh my, this may break. No way, come on. Don't want to get a lot of heat in there. You know what, I got something. I'll be right back. Okay, we've got the Venom HP mini ductor. Let's see if we can get this thing red hot. She's getting toasty. Quickly. Yes, look at that. We might have a fire here, huh? Red hot. Look at that. Dude, this thing is like cats meow and the dogs bark. That thing would have definitely broke without getting it hot. It's a toasty one. Let's get this thing off of here. Ouch. Oh. Okay, that thing turned for me. I don't know if I have to take that completely out of there or not. I'm assuming I probably do, but I don't know. All right, we got that loose. We'll let that cool off. Let's come back down from the top and see if we have access. It's not going to take much until I start moving the bumper forward, because I think I'd have a lot more room. I know I would. I used to have no problem with tight spaces, but it's becoming a little more of an issue nowadays.
A few moments later.
As you can see, things have definitely escalated here. Possibly, if you were working on this and it was your own vehicle, there is a possibility that you could get this done without putting this thing in service mode. But I didn't want to, and here's why. In order to get some of the gaskets and stuff out of here, you would have had to bend them around and squeeze them down in through there. That gasket, you know, the old gasket getting squeezed around wouldn't have been a big deal. But this thing right here, they say that I was looking, this guy that commented on it, I was looking online and looks like other guys are taking these out and they bend these up and take them out the bottom. Well, if that was my own vehicle, I probably would, maybe a little more so, but with this being a customer's vehicle, I don't want to put the new one in having to bend it around and then try to, you know, get it right after I get it in there. So just as easy. It didn't take very long at all to get all this stuff apart. It's just as easy to just put it in service mode. Now I've got plenty of room to work and all is well. So I was becoming, and not only that, I was becoming increasingly frustrated. So all right, so now we have wide open access to everything. And as we can see, right there is where our leak was coming from. So there's possibly going to be a little bit of an oil mess there. So I'm going to go get my pan and get that thing off of it. My philosophy on cutting corners is I'll do it whenever I can. But if it's an 8, but if it's the customer's vehicle, I'm not a fan of cutting corners and, you know, like I said, if I can cut corners and still do good quality work, then yes, by all means. But like in this instance, we would have had to bend the gaskets around. It would have been a chance of not getting them back together correctly, and I'm just not, no, I'm not a fan. So, oh, there's antifreeze in there too. That's part of an oil cooler. Okay, well, I guess it'll come out of there, won't it? Nope. We're catching some of it. No, this is not an oil cooler, but it does have the block off port there for it, so interesting. But yeah, this thing's hard, brittle. Okay, well, we've drained most of that out of there. We're gonna go ahead and let that drain, finish draining. Then I'm going to clean everything up, and we'll get our new gaskets installed over here. We'll also put a new oil filter in this thing. While we're at it, customer provided some European AMSOIL, European grade AMSOIL, and so we're going to put that in there for him. So let's make sure we get all of our gaskets cleaned out of here. But it looks like this thing has the availability of using having an oil cooler on it. It's got the ports blocked off on this one, so this one does not. But it still has the antifreeze up around it. So let's go ahead and get this thing cleaned up and I'll be back. Okay, L-ring. From what I understand, that is the OEM supplier. So let's get this put in there. Oh, much more flexible. Yes. I like it. I don't know why, but I woke up this morning with a pounding headache, and I've still got it, and it's kind of hard to think and talk at the same time. Of course, I have that problem most days anyway, but I have trouble chewing gum and walking at the same time. Okay, so now that this is done, let's get over and clean up our other stall here. Oh yeah. All right. Clean, clean, clean. Come on, clean off there. Hey, now. No problem. We'll extend the barrel of our shooter here. It's not quite as high powered this way, but it works. Trying to get all of this clean so that we can go back together and feel good about the job we did. I don't like putting something back together on dirty parts. Plus, helps us to verify that we no longer have a leak. Do a little wipe down here. Get that new one put on. new one. Put our oil filter housing back on, however, with a new gasket. This goes on there. Come on. Alright, we'll torque that down to specs then. I'm going to have to look up the specs because I don't know. So, come on. Clean as a whistle. Is a whistle clean? I don't know. That's what we used to always say here. Or in my generation. Alright, all these surfaces are clean. Get the torque wrench and torque that down to specs. Put everything back together. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put all this back together. And then I'll bring you guys back and we'll button up this front end again. Since I did all that off camera. Hopefully show you guys a little bit of what the process is. I mean, it's really not hard. And it gives you this much access. I would never, I'm not going to attempt another project like this without moving the bumper out into service position. So we'll be back as soon as I get everything else put on here, get that torqued down, and I'll be back. Okay, well, we're back. We've got everything done here. All the shields are back in place. Everything is done as far as the engine wise there. Now, I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of what it takes to put this thing back together. Taking it apart is reverse order. Now, there is a very good video put out by, I believe it's Minimod. I'll link his channel up here in the corner or over here, somewhere up in here. And it goes step by step on how to take this thing apart, so this front end apart, and he does a very good job. So if you've got any questions, you can always go look at his channel. But basically what we've done here, and the way you do this, is you grab yourself a bolt, and I grab myself a fairly long bolt here, and here they give you a place to put your bolt into to hold that front bumper. Now, you don't have to drain any of the antifreeze, Freon, anything like that, because they give you enough hose to move this out. And actually we could move it out a couple more inches, but this was enough to get us to where we needed to go. Now, the biggest problem that we're running into here is that we have back in there's a crash bar that we have a little trouble with getting it to move freely. So we're just going to spray a little bit of this Kroil down in there, and should be able to get this thing to move fairly freely here. If nothing else, we can tap it in there with a persuader. Just be gentle with it. Get me a rubber mallet here. That will give a little cushion. And then we just move this back in there. Also, I did unhook the battery because we are working around airbag pieces and also the alternator. We're really close to the alternator. And I don't know if this thing was in a wreck or what, but this side here is like it, when it came loose, it sprung up on me. So not sure what all's going on there, but let's get this thing up in the air a little bit, because I also need to line up those crash bar bolts underneath, and it's best to do that up in the air. Bring you guys over here. Right here is where these two bolts go. There's two bolts that go there and two that go there. So Let's get this knocked in a little bit further. We're not lined up yet. Those are now lined up. Anti-seize. They use a fair amount of anti-seize around this area. Everything rusts around here. It's always easier to take it back off if you have anti-seize on it. Okay, so those two are lined up. Hey, on the bright side, my headache has gone away. Makes me happy. I had a little bit of lunch and some more coffee and it went away. I never took any pain medication for it. I hate taking pain medication. 17 mil socket. Torque it down to about an elbow click. All right, now we'll take these bolts out of here. Go ahead and put these nuts on. Either way you want to do it, doesn't really matter. We got 3 nuts on each side. From here, here, and then one up top. But before we go down with it, let's get that thing out of there. It's going to be a 13 millimeter headed bolt. Okay, well, we got a little interrupted there, but that's okay. Got to go help out the neighbor. Got a Ingersoll Rand SkyTrak that had a cranked no start, out of fuel, and the battery was dead. Okay, let's see here. We have got this here, goes there, that goes there. It's a 10 millimeter in size. Now, you will find on these things that they will, because of the genius design that Mini Cooper or BMW had here, that some of these inserts on the headlights will sometimes strip out. So this one here did. There was one already stripped out, and then we had the second one, or all three of them. All three of them. Can't get it said right, but basically this one and this one on both headlights are gone, done, left the chat. I think it'll work just fine without those, but because I don't have any more of those inserts. I think you can buy those. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can. All right, so we're going to go up a little bit, and then we'll put our bumper on. All right, so we go here. This has got to go in behind there. Got these Torx screws that go right there. Going to have one here and one here, and then we'll have pull this black piece back because you'll have one up in here as well. Actually, you can actually start threading it in a hole there because it does have a slot to leave that screw in there, and I took them both out. But yeah, you should be able to just slide that across there. Right back here, behind here. That goes into there. Let's go ahead and start threading that in there. Come on. There we go. And we'll pop this bumper in through there, just like that. Okay, now, here's our Torx. This is going to be a T25. Yeah, so in my opinion, the amount of time that it took to take all of this apart, put it back together, was definitely worth the time, because I was getting mad and frustrated because I couldn't get to anything. And once I got all of this moved out, man, that just made the biggest difference. Plus, I feel that it's no fun calling the customer and telling them I broke something. I'll pay for it, but I broke something. You know, it just doesn't feel very professional. Now, if you can't help it, you can't help it. But if it's because I wanted to try to keep from having to take this front end off, you know, that'd be pretty embarrassing. Okay, there's that. Those are all tight. Now, do we have these? Yep, those are tight. This is tight and tight. Everything is tight there. Okay. Now, I think what we want to do is get this back on here. And it just slides right into the bumper there. Same way over here. Now, there'll be 2 push pin clips on the side here. If we pull this back, there's going to be one right here. Loud noises. And there's another one, I believe, right there. Yep, and then the same way on the other side. So we'll do that. We gotta plug in, reinstall our fog lamp here, and then plug in our connector there. Okay, and this is ready to go back. Just like that. Okay. Like that. Okay. Now, we'll do the same to the other side. Okay, so that's done. Now, we'll go ahead and put our push clips in to hold the inner fender. There's going to be some up on the bottom. Put our headlights back in and change the oil, fill the antifreeze system, bleed the system. I usually let it come up to temperature and then shut it off, let it set for a while, and it'll kind of even itself out, and then top it off again. And this thing should be good to go as long as there's no oil leaks. So stay tuned. I'll be back as soon as I get everything back together. Okay, this thing is all back together. Wheel lug nuts are torqued. Antifreeze is up to the level. We've put oil in it, new filter. Let's see if she'll light. Contact. Dude. 100,053 miles on the odometer. She's got the check engine light. It's for a timing related issue. Customer has been running a flush through it, an AMSOIL engine flush, and seems to have been making it better. I believe it's going to be a problem in the camshaft, the gear, VVT gear there. Okay, let's see where we're at. We're smoking. Got just a little bit of, I need a rag. Got a little bit of oil on our exhaust there, so let's get this thing wiped off. Stick it back down in there. Check it. Yeah, we could use just a tad bit more. Add some more of this AMSOIL. About 1/4 quart, I think, should do it. Some Something along that line. Come in. Let's check it now. Perfect. Actually, let's wipe it off and try it again, just to make sure. Boy, this thing got a real nice chime, door chime, doesn't it? Yep, we're up to the full mark. Okay. Now, let's get this thing started. Get it checked for leaks. Pull it outside, let it run for a little bit. See where the antifreeze level sits, and then we'll be back after that. All right. Well, this thing has been sitting and idling for about 20 minutes. So we're going to take this thing on a little test drive just to make sure everything's good. Still runs good. Still drives good. We didn't do anything that it shouldn't, but you know, always got to double check. I don't have my seatbelt on. I know. Okay. Yeah, so basically sit there and let it idle for about 20 minutes. The antifreeze level did go down once, so I added antifreeze to it. It was up to par on that. The oil level's up to par. Engine runs good. There's no leaks on the engine, which is a major plus. That's what we were trying to solve. We can hear no exhaust leaks, nothing like that. I'll get my seatbelt on. Happy now. So yeah, it's blowing good heat out of the dash. We've got good heat, so that tells me that we've got the air out of the system for the most part. We're gonna drive the thing down the road. I mean, I just wanted to make sure that there's no ill sounding noises, nothing like that. They just spent I don't know how much, I guess, but a decent amount of money with BMW. Get turned around here with BMW, getting this thing aligned and new tires put on it. So I think they quoted them like, I'm wanting to say close to $2,500 to fix the oil leak. So I think we're going to come in below that, but yeah, we'll bring this thing back to the shop. We'll just double check all the fluids and just make certain that we have no leaks. Yeah, this thing does drive pretty good. I know the last time the customer had it here, it kind of wanted to swim over the road a little bit, but it hugs the road now and drives really nice. Needless to say, even though I kind of rag on the Mini Cooper, these things do run pretty good, drive pretty good. They drive nice, so hurts to admit that. Okay, let's get this thing back up here. We'll get the hood popped and let's just double check everything before we send it back. We'll pop the hood here. Well, there's no smoke coming up. That's a plus. Antifreeze level is full. Let's take a look up through here. There's no oil dripping off the exhaust. Everything looks dry up through there. This is going to be a confirmed fix. So we're going to call the customer and let him know he can pick it up. Again, as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. I'd like for you guys to have yourselves a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Helps me out a bunch. Doesn't cost you guys anything. And as always, have yourselves a great day.